same haircut. And sure enough,
Yeah. Apex Comics right here. Ladies and gentlemen, listen to ComicsGate Kings.
No, Graham, you're Bane. Come on. That's true.
It's a little stipple.
Well, Eve Ewing looks like this Ironheart, or maybe Riri Williams, but Eve Ewing doesn't look anything like the porno star who had the name and idea first in 2014. And this is a very strange thing. Japanese pornography.
Yeah, these porn parodies are great. I also have a Iron Heart porn parody, but it's Iron Heart on. It's in the works. 2022.
Who knows how this happened? This is so strange. This is like an iron. Like, first of all, of course, all of us abstain from pornography. We're married men, I think, for the most part. We're Christians. But in any case, still, one
research.
Research might be called for here because I do want to know the story. She looks like Iron Man. She's got an Iron Man mask here, right? I mean, what is this?
I assume it's Iron Man takeoff.
Well, no, so that's the legitimate porn poster for the movie that she was actually riffing an Iron Man outfit on the. That's not just done in Photoshop for a joke or something.
No, this is real.
There's nothing about this song that looks like a porn poster, though.
Aaron, did you say you've never seen that?
No, I said I've never seen this poster before, but how do they not get sued by Marvel for that? I guess is what I'm asking.
You can do well, I don't know. I'm not really sure, but from what I hear, there are a lot of porno parodies based on Marvel and DC movies and properties, and the way they get away with it is they say, "Not Batman, XXX," and then basically it is Batman. They'll say this is not the Avengers XXX, and it's the Avengers, and they're.
Well, there is a parody law protecting, like Mad Magazine and stuff like that. But I didn't know that actually went into porn. That's
well, the old porn, old porn movies used to really satire it, like instead of Saving Private Ryan, it was Saving
Ryan. Funny talking about porn movies. This
Golden,
video is not for kids.
They would do these funny little parody titles for these movies, which are just hysterical.
How about Edward Penis Hands?
Penis Hands. I think they already made that.
I think that one's real. That one is real.
This is, I don't know. That's not a parody name, really. It doesn't. You look at that, and you would think that was just like a Japanese superhero film,
right? It looks like it's right. And then you watch
it looks like a Power Ranger or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we should all watch it and review it.
Yeah.
On our own time.
This movie came first, though, so that means that Marvel would have ripped off this version.
Ooh,
that's the whole point.
That's the point. Yes.
So somewhere in Japan, they came up with this idea for an Iron Man but a hot Japanese chick, and they called her Iron Heart. So as not to confuse, that's the parody name, Ironheart. Just like if you were going to do a porno of Schindler's List, it might be Schindler's Lust. You want to change the name just a little bit, so Ironheart, and they got everything else pretty much exactly the same. And then apparently this happened. I don't know.
I don't find it hard to believe that a porn parody came first. You know what I mean?
Why? Oh.
But where would it lie if you're Disney and these people are doing a parody of your product? Could you not then do something based on it because it was a parody of your product?
Yeah, that's deep.
I think it's pretty low. It's pretty low right now that Marvel's looking at pornography for inspiration for their comics.
You never know.
No one will ever find this. Yeah.
That's right. Remember that Harrison Ford movie, The Witness?
Yeah.
They had a porno called The Wetness.
I remember that.
Just wanted to say thanks to all of you for your hard work. It's appreciated. ComicsGate for life. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
It's like Boys in the Hood.
We got another friend in the back.
Tucci.
I just thought to myself, that's Billy Tucci. There's something about hair metal from the 80s that reminds me of Billy Tucci. I don't know what it
nickname
is.
was actually Dude Bon Jovi growing up.
Are you serious? No.
Not at all. Not at all. I was in a band and we played Bon Jovi's Silent Night and Runaway.
There
You
it
ever
is.
do any Kaja Gugu songs?
Gosh, it could.
No, never did Kaja.
Too shy.
We got 1,000 people roughly watching right now. If you guys could hit the like button, we'd really appreciate it. Let's get 1,000 likes.
What's up, everybody?
URAL7 says John is right. Riri, where I'm from, means
Riri.
retard.
Riri.
Another instance of you being
That's not
correct.
is that the porno?
Yeah, that's what we're
Inspiration.
discussing. What is your theory about that? What do you think?
It's absolutely true. I think that whoever came up with it was jacking off the Japanese porn. Comic character.
Shane Davis.
Shane Davis.
You think it was Shane Davis that did this? Or put people in?
No,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't care about them. I think that actually looks better than.
They usually do. These porn parodies, they take a lot of time and care into making actual suits. They don't care about objectifying women. You know what I mean?
The Pirates, man. Remember Pirates?
Oh, yeah.
What?
No, I don't remember that. No.
Yeah, they did a Pirates of the Caribbean, like 20 years ago or whatever, and the production value on it was fantastic.
Oh yeah, I heard it was like the highest, like not high, like the most expensive porn ever made, right?
Yeah.
He probably snuck onto the sets of Pirates of the Caribbean at night and filmed it.
Money is legal fees, right?
Borrow the costumes and stuff at night.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, hurry up, take off your clothes. Is the camera on? Yeah. Let's do this.
Let's do it for 15 minutes.
I was just on that ride 2 days ago. I wondered why I saw some underwear.
Nice.
Get the black one.
So, Billy, it's your theory that basically somebody perhaps, this is just a theory, it's an idea, was engaging in the active enjoyment of obscure Japanese pornography. Somebody who worked in Marvel. This sounds strange to me. Personally, I can't imagine who that would be.
I blame
who would do
CB.
that.
I blame CB.
TV, that makes sense.
Yeah, maybe it was CB Sobolski.
You know how the Marvel Universe had the Iron Man movie in 2008, and then it just blew up and caught steam, and do you think there's an entire Japanese cinematic Marvel parody porno universe?
I bet there is.
Do you think? Like,
Oh yeah, there's a gay one called Mighty Thor.
there you go. Is there the Avengers or something like that? Or?
Yes.
If that's the case, then I want to.
Could be.
The Ass Avengers.
I hope.
Aaron, can we get you to do some research, find out how many porn parodies there are? On your browser, please.
Aaron's disgusted by this whole conversation. But who did this? I think this is a good theory that somebody who was very interested in Japanese culture, too interested perhaps, found this particular piece of filth. I'm going to say that, in deference to Aaron, and decided to base this new Marvel character right in it. Again, so there are some suspicions about who that might be. This is NBC News, guys. NBC News.
Whoa.
Marvel Comics white editor. By the way, hi, I'm CB Sobolski, white editor at Marvel Comics. White editor, pretended to be Japanese.
Yeah.
Co-worker wants him held accountable. There's the new word, accountability, right there.
This is old though, right?
That's all
This is
news.
just a month old, yeah. But somebody showed it to me today, and I laughed harder than I've laughed in a long time.
This could happen to a nicer
They
guy.
want to hold them
Right.
accountable for something that was a story years ago. They're starting to eat their own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
They
it's
are.
great.
It is funny. Well, I mean, look, all right, look, this is egregious to Hollywood types who basically come on board and go, wait, I'm actually doing work for the MCU, Marvel, the Disney Channel, whatever it is. And there's this story here about, there's a white guy who's pretending to be, marginalized ethnicity. We all know how marginalized the Japanese are, by the way.
Yeah.
They've always had it tough.
again, I don't really blame him. What I think it's more of it's an inside job, because again, how do writers come off cold and start working for Marvel Comics? It doesn't happen.
Well, what do you mean?
Well, okay, say my name's Butch Goring, and I write fan fiction, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I all of a sudden I decide I want to pitch to Marvel. First of all, how do you get a pitch? And then when does that ever happen? You never just see writers come out of nowhere that this unknown writer with this Japanese name, whoever this guy, whatever his name was supposed to be, I forget his name.
Akira Yoshida.
It's like, oh my God, we need Akira.
That sounds fake.
Yeah, we need Akira Yoshida for that next big Spider-Man book. That doesn't happen. There was no such thing as Akira Yoshida. He had no track record, right? He had no books out. He's not published. How does he get hired by Marvel? They knew
CD hires.
All the uppers knew that.
I think so. I mean, yeah, probably.
I mean, how do you get a job? I mean, as an artist, you can come in. You can be Aaron Lepresti and show your portfolio at a comic book convention to an editor and like, wow, this guy's great. You could mail it in. You could FedEx it in. You could send him JPEGs via, an email. And they're like, wow, this guy's fantastic. Let's get this guy in, But you get someone like Mike Bossy coming off the street saying he's a writer. They're not going to give him a book. They're not even going to give him a chance.
Nobody wants to read.
Pictures, from nobodies and unheard people.
To be a writer, you have to have already done something.
Yeah.
You have to be able to say, I worked on this TV show, or somebody has to vouch for you and tell everyone that you're a good writer.
Right.
Somebody who's already inside and already has power.
Right.
I don't know. I don't think this guy has any integrity at all. Nothing about that story.
Angry arm.
Yeah, I despise this guy. I don't think he's a person.
Well,
I find all this. This is just like touche. This is his upcomings right now.
Well, he's working, so
I think you guys are going at it all wrong. I mean, CB is a bit of a hero, really. He recognized.
How dare you?
He recognized back in the early 2000s that there was a glass ceiling for Asians, and he said, "You know what? You know how we got to break that glass ceiling? We need to get a white man to break that glass ceiling." And that's what he did.
That's what he did. He opened up the
all Asian writers at Marvel today owe a debt to C.B. Cebulski and Akira Yoshida.
There you go.
Here it is.
Look at
well, not everybody feels that way, John. Marvel Comics writer and television producer Stephen DeKnight. How do you like this last name? D-Knight. Like I'm taking away your knighthood. That's what that means. Is halting work with Marvel after learning that editor-in-chief C.B. Cebulski once invented a Japanese persona to publish comics. And yeah, Billy, it didn't even occur to me, but you are 100% right.
Well, I thought the story was the reason he did it is because if you were on staff at Marvel, you couldn't do freelance, writing or art either. So that's why he did it.
And that plays into the theory that they knew because he was doing it there.
The question is, if he had used, say, a typical white name like George Johnson as the writer, would no one have cared about this? Because he used an Asian name, now he's in trouble?
Wasn't he living over there at the time?
So if he used a name like Clark Gillies or something, then you don't think he would have gotten work?
No, he would have gotten work anyway.
He would have been in trouble right now if he had not. I mean, because if everybody was in on it at Marvel, which clearly they were, he could have used any name he wanted.
Right.
There's already a track record in comics for using Asian names. It's Lee. There's Jay Lee, Jim Lee, Stan Lee.
Stan Lee did this. He was the first one to use an Asian name.
Yeah. Breaking that glass ceiling.
It wasn't Lee though. It was Lieber. But I mean, he did call himself Lee.
Pen names. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm just throwing all those names I'm throwing out are hockey players and Theocrat got it. I tried to throw all these names out. Sorry. See, forget it.
All right, now here we go. Let's get into the story here.
You want to know something crazy though? I just
Yes.
googled Marvel. I googled Akira Yoshida, and on Marvel's website right now, they list him as the writer for some comics. I'm on my iPhone, so I can't share my screen.
If you
But
really want to delve into it, you look at the editor on it.
so they still have Akira
Probably C.B.
Yoshida.
Cebulski.
Editing.
Well, ingenuity. Why not? Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do to get work, you know?
That's right.
Find ingenuity.
Listen, guys, I found this great talent.
I agree with you. Whatever, whatever this guy had to do, I'm sure it made sense. It was justified. But anyway, not everybody feels that way. Screenwriter and director Stephen DeKnight is halting work with Marvel Comics after learning that editor-in-chief CB. What do you think CB stands for? Does anybody know?
Chubby boy.
Complete bastard.
Complete bastard.
I'd say Charles Brayton.
Charles Brayton.
The complainer, the complainant or whatever they're called. What do they direct? Like, what are they working on?
Oh,
are they just saying they're a director?
Daredevil.
Okay.
The Daredevil TV show, but before that they did whatchamacallit, that show Blood and Sand for Showtime or whatever that was. It's that show. Anyway.
Are they white knighting or in this case are they, whatever, are they protecting a race that's not their own?
That's correct. Yes. They are.
He's white D-nighting.
White denying.
This is my favorite. Pretended to be Japanese to further his career. This is a fantastic.
That's not really an accurate statement, though.
Yeah.
You don't pretend to be Japanese. I mean, that's an entire, lifestyle, and he's,
he's just using a pen name.
Yeah.
I like the idea of C.B. Sobalski calling the office as Akira Yoshida using English.
English.
I mean, it's the same thing applied to Stanley Lieber, because he's pretending to be a Christian person, or DC Fontana pretending to be a man, or any of these female writers that use initials to get work. You know what? If the playing field is rigged against you, and you come out and you figure out a way around it, more power to you.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
No, that pissed me off, man, because J.K. Rowling I wanted to bang, then I found out it was a chick.
What would be interesting is if like a black transgender woman actually pretended to be a white male in order and that way it's like, how cool would it be? Like, look, I'm writing all this stuff. You guys think my name is Bob Jones or whatever it is, and you like my work a whole lot. Surprise! I'm super talented. Trans black female.
Why aren't they trying to cancel Tootsie?
That's right.
Like,
Give it time.
Why aren't they trying to cancel Tootsie right this moment?
What about bosom buddies?
Oh.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks.
What are you guys talking about? That's transvestism. They're not trying to cancel it. They're trying to promote it. This is something else.
But isn't he appropriating transgenders? Help me out here, somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Too
it's
long food, thanks for
appropriation.
everything, Julie Newmar. Young Wesley Snipes, Patrick Swayze, and that.
You know too much, John. John, you know too much.
That isn't
Leguizamo.
appropriation.
John Leguizamo.
Well, isn't it though? If they're not really a transvestite and they're just pretending to be one, then that would be.
That's offensive because those
It's
roles
called
should
acting.
went to
Oh,
actual
that's super
transvestites.
meta.
Well, that's why that Scarlett Johansson movie got shit canned, is because people were having a fit that she was going to play transgender. When it's like,
That's super meta, though. Somebody playing the dude that's playing the dude that's not the dude.
Hey Dan, remember the time you called me in pink bra and panties, and I said, "Fooled you. I was only pretending to be a transvestite." Remember that? I mean, either
We agreed. I signed the NDA. I didn't know.
Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. They had Zod as a transvestite.
Yeah.
weird, yeah.
Yeah, that was really weird. Terrence Stamp, weird shit.
When it comes to wearing women's clothing, the act of wearing women's clothing makes you pretty legit. I gotta say, it's not. There's no. I'm just pretending to be a guy.
Dennis Rodman did it.
Yeah,
Well, no, if you're doing it in a movie, though, then that's appropriation. That's not. You're pretending, but you're not pretending with intent. You're just doing it for money for a movie. Whereas if you're doing it in real life and no one knew about it, then that's one thing, right? But,
What about Some Like It Hot? What about like Jack Lemmon and Some Like
good
It
movie.
Hot?
Something like that.
Guys are coming up with examples of white people pretending to be black people, and I know there aren't any. I know that that's a very rare thing.
Oh yeah, no, Sean James or whatever whatever his name is. The guy.
Soul Man.
No, the guy, Shaun White.
Shaun White, Malcolm X.
No,
Yeah.
What about C. Thomas Howell as Soul Man? Remember that?
Oh yeah.
You know
What about
What about Dan Aykroyd as Rasta Man?
Yeah.
Well, that's why. Or Gary Oldman as Drexel.
Hey,
Oh,
it should
yeah.
be like James
Yeah.
Whitmore in Black Lake.
Or what about Eminem as Eminem?
That's right. Ethan, I post some in the private chat if you want to see it, but there was a newscast that addressed that people are offended by this, if you want to play it, about a plane crash.
People get offended about the stupidest stuff.
And they
Oh, we played that. We played that last night.
Okay, I
Did already play that one. Yeah, cultural appropriation. I mean, it's a real terrifying thing. People are really. Well, I'm going to read that whole article in 1 second. I think it's important that we
You
do.
can't even get a haircut, a certain type of haircut, without people saying that, oh, you're trying to appropriate some type of a culture.
Yeah.
You know,
I can't even wear this. We're like, what are you, a cholo?
If I like jazz, am I appropriating black culture because I like jazz?
Oh, where'd Ethan go? Now it's just us.
Yes.
Dude, I went too far with the cholo joke.
He's back.
I'm back. Sorry about that. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Barron. Hello, Mike Barron.
What up,
Yeah.
Mike Barron?
Should Shakespeare have been allowed to write Othello?
No.
There you go.
But on the other hand, this is definitely okay. Michael B. Jordan is Kyle Rittenhouse.
Wow, nominated for best film and screenwriter.
He's a good
You
actor.
know, on a serious note, I'm very curious how long after this before there's the movie of this whole Kyle Rittenhouse thing.
Oh, that'll be soon.
Of course.
Sure, probably.
Yeah, Shapiro should make it. Yeah.
Yeah, Shapiro would make it.
Yeah, I like it. I think I would go see that movie. That guy's a good actor.
Yeah.
I've liked him since Menace to Society. Remember that movie?
Yeah.
It was a good movie.
What was he in Menace to Society?
Michael B. Jordan?
Wasn't he
Was
in Menace to
alive
Society?
I don't think so.
No.
He was a kid.
He would have been like 8 years old.
He was in the TV show Friday Night Lights.
Not all black people are the same, Ethan.
Come on,
Since
Ethan.
when? Hold on a second. J-Bomba fan says, Kira to Marvel, me so sorry,
Oh, jeez.
Oh, jeez, forgive. I can't pronounce that. That's awful. Terrible. What was Michael B. Jordan in? He was in Friday Night Lights.
He was in that.
That horrible Fantastic Four movie.
Oh, Rocky. Oh, okay.
He was Creed.
Creed, yeah.
Creed, yeah.
Black
Who
Panther.
am I thinking of then? Who was the guy from Menace to Society?
Black Panther.
Taylor Renz.
Somebody in the chat says it was Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, Samuel Jackson was in it.
Menace to Society was Taylor Renz.
Oh, the kid, the little kid in Menace to Society.
I think that
What
was
are you guys
Taylor Renz.
talking about?
Oh, like played him as the little kid? Is that what you're saying?
Well, you guys are thinking of.
It was Will Ferrell.
Will McLaren says CB would love the Japanese Eternals trailer. Why is that?
Oh, that was crazy.
Alright, hold on a second. Somebody's got to know. Is it Lorenz Tate? Is that what I'm thinking of?
I think it is.
Lorenz Tate was O-Dog.
I've never seen that movie.
Was Kane.
Hmm.
Okay. Alright, I got those two guys confused.
Charles S. Dutton was in it too.
Oh, was he really?
Convicted murderer.
Mm-hmm.
He's a convicted murderer.
Yeah, Charles Dutton.
Huh.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah.
Alright,
I just assumed. I didn't know that. I just assumed that.
I used to think I liked Michael B. Jordan. Now I don't. Not no feelings for him at all. I thought he was Lorenz Tate. My bad. Alright, speaking of cultural appropriation, let's get back to C.B. Cebulski and his plight. This is important that everybody understand this. And by the way, it's not just people throwing accusations. This person has a solution. How does this man still have a job? Completely unacceptable. The Knight wrote Saturday, beginning a series of tweets in which he eventually announced his resignation. I love working with Marvel, but will not pursue or accept future work until this is resolved. Can you imagine the shit? Jeez.
Put him to work for Image then.
Fuck you.
Replace him.
It may not even be an issue we don't know what's going on behind the scenes on the Daredevil production, and he could be having something tumultuous, and this could be an I quit situation versus being fired, and he's grasping at straws, and this is one of those.
His way out. Yeah.
This is his way out. That's a theory. It's not my theory. It's a theory.
But here's what he's saying. He's saying, I hope other more high-profile creatives in the comics biz will follow suit. In other words, we should all quit until CB. This is cancel culture right here.
Absolutely.
That's what this is. Tonight has written for several Marvel comics, such as Wolverine, Black, White, and Blood. Representatives said Marvel has nothing new to share about the matter. Sobolski admitted in 2017 he used the name Akira Yoshida, and he wasn't a little green dinosaur. I mean, like, what do you mean? And published several Marvel comics under it in the early 2000s, many of them with Asian characters and themes. It's just another example of non-Asians feeling they are more authoritative than actual Asian people. Hugh Chow, the editor-in-chief of Nerds of Color, cultural criticism.
How is it authoritative, though? How are you saying you're being authoritative? You know, like, you think Stephen King is a mass murderer? You know?
Yeah.
Because he's so authoritative in the works of horror?
I don't think he is, but if you told me he was, I'd believe you. You know?
Probably.
You wouldn't have to convince me.
I'm going to drop the stories from right here. I mean, I just want to let you guys know that Ray Bradbury has never been to Mars.
Oh, wow.
The mayor of New York City, Bill de Blasio, he's got some German name, Wilhelm something, and, you know, he made his name sound ethnic.
Yep.
And, you know, he became the worst mayor in the history of New York City.
There you go.
Saying a lot.
Yeah. Well, I think that's completely unfair, and but if anything happens to CB, if he is let go, you know, he won't be working for Image. He's in violation of the union's
they get their union?
proposition number 9 or whatever.
Well, we don't know that they got that ratified yet. I mean, the union is not officially a thing, right? I mean,
No. Did you also notice, and I went on, that none of their tweets are liked by any of the Image founders or any of the people with books at Image? None of them.
I mean, it's like the board of directors of Image is made up of 6 white heterosexual males. I mean, it's hard. I mean, no matter how lefty they may be, it's hard not to look at that as a little bit threatening. That these people, part of what they're asking for is to be able to choose
the bro strokes
color and LGBTQ people and diverse people to be on the board of directors. It certainly sounds like you're turning over, the power, the steering wheel of the company to the people who used to get you coffee. It just seems like a bad idea.
Coffee.
So they've got to mount these platitudes like we support the workers, but fuck the workers. I mean, honestly, but we really support the workers. We're gonna put it to a vote, and then they're gonna kick it. I would fire all of these people instantly.
Thank you.
Indeed.
I mean, I would retain my power like a
You're in
tyrant.
some trouble.
I built this company. You know, that would be if I were Todd McFarlane. I built this company, you purple-haired bitch. Get out of here.
There you go.
Take your clown posse with you. You're not, taking control of shit around here. And that's what I would do in my own self-interest, but it would be for the good of comics that you not allow a kangaroo court of 10 weirdos to decide which See, I value creative people. I value creative people over editorial.
Thank you.
I do. You know, editorial is a position that at this point in comics, it's not like the 1990s. It's not like Mike Carlin is in there. You know, it's not like we have real editors. It's not like we have real gifted, skilled editors like Eddie Berganza.
Slow down.
Wow. Yeah, the good ones, right? They're traffic managers and production.
Right. They're not editing anything.
They're not even editors. They're just like
we do what they do. Like every day we do what editors at Marvel and DC do. So how hard is it? I mean, it is hard, but we do it and draw and write a comic book.
Exactly.
The cherry on the cake for all this is just that Stephen DeKnight also supported Elizabeth Warren. Are we in the Matrix?
We are.
Yeah, we talked about about this before, and I brought up that tweet. Like, he tweeted out, like, he supported Elizabeth Warren. Like, all she had to do was, what was it? Warren was in the wrong, and she knows and has been acknowledging that, and should continue for the rest of her life. Now do Trump.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, I wish I knew that.
Yeah, and he supported Elizabeth Warren.
What a loser.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, here he is trying to cancel some guy who works at a comic book company.
Yeah.
Cares.
All right, Marvel still has a page up online crediting work to the pseudonym, attributing dozens of projects to Yoshida. Sobolski spun an elaborate backstory that Yoshida was a translator who previously worked in manga and was friends with artists like Pat Lee. Dan, your pal Pat Lee was in on this.
No way.
Yeah, he was.
I'm gonna have to ask him.
You should
Ask him
listen.
about it.
Give him a high five for me. It's pretty funny. He even gave interviews under the pseudonym, according to Bleeding Cool, the comic news site that broke the story. Marvel confirmed the claims to NBC News in 2017, and after years of denial, Sobolski admitted to Bleeding Cool that Yoshida was, in fact, him. He wasn't transparent. It taught me a lot about writing, he said. I was young and naive. How young were you, dude? You were like 35? And I had a lot to learn back then, but this is all old news that has been dealt with. Let's leave this shit in the past. I'm truly sorry for the, oh my god, the pain, the anger, and disappointment I caused over my poor choice of pseudonym. That was never my intention.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for watching.
My mistakes, which is exactly what I've been trying to do with this.
Oh, more lawn work over here.
We gotta stop these
It's Apex Comics. Have a blessed day. Ciao for now.